All right, welcome back to another video. Now you might notice the suit is back out. And that's because even though it is more than halfway through April, here in Illinois, it's still 34 degrees outside. If you can't tell, I'm a little frustrated about it, but we'll get over it. We got some work to do. We're back to the drawing boards to do more prototyping. And this one will be kind of exciting because it's definitely a first for me. If you watched the last video, you will have known that the Corvette is back. And that's because I want to get some parts done on it. And today we're starting out with an angle kit. Now, most of you are probably familiar with what an angle kit is, but if you're not, it basically just gives your car more steering angle, like so you can make tighter turns, which significantly improves a vehicle's ability to drift. Then you can carry your car through a corner with more drift angle, because without it, it's hard to keep the momentum going sideways and the car just kind of wants to straighten out, especially with these Vettes, which don't have very good steering angle stock. Now, the closer I move that tie rod end to the pivot point of this whole steering knuckle, the more travel it will be able to give the whole knuckle. The whole goal is to make a pretty simple and inexpensive kit to allow that barrier of entry to be a lot lower than options on the market currently. So more people are able to upgrade their Vettes and start drifting them. All right, I got my first little cardboard design cut out. So we're gonna bolt in from the tie rod mounting spot here. We've got these two mounts back here. Obviously these separate pieces will all be welded together. Right now, I'm a little bit concerned about clearance with the sway bar. If we go enough, we will end up making contact. That's like definitely more than stock. All right, so here's kind of a look at it outside of the vehicle, get a better kind of idea of where I'm at so far. Obviously some little things will change. All right, just finished cutting out everything to make the driver's side piece. I'm gonna go ahead and clean these up and get them welded together. Also, here's a quick look of how everything looks like coming off the machine. And then this is all tacked together with the Heim joint in there. So I got what I think is gonna be the first prototype all tacked up together. And then my Heim joints in here, I'm not sure if these are gonna stay, but I cut out little washers in there as spacers for the Heim joint so that it's mounted right in the middle. Has plenty of movement here for the Heim joint to adjust with the suspension. All right, so we got the first side on. Don't mind this sketchiness. I ordered the wrong stuff, so I had to make what I had work here. Just for testing purposes, got some ghetto stuff going on here, but already had to clearance this a little bit because that interfered with the tie rod. I forgot to accommodate for the wheel speed sensor. I need to make a mount for that because it will not reach its stock mount anymore with this plate on. All right, so what I originally feared ended up happening. The sway bar end link right here ended up limiting our travel. I put it on the ground, measured it. We were getting about 12 extra degrees. I'm hoping for closer to 20. I think we can get it out of it. So just to see where it ended up, I swapped this Heim joint down. It used to mount up here inside the bracket. Swapped it underneath to see how much clearance that would give us next to the sway bar end link. And it's definitely given more room. All right, I'm doing really bad at updating you guys in this video, but that's just because I got so many projects going on, and I'm bouncing back and forth between so many different things. So when I keep chipping away at this, I'm just like putting my head down and working. But I cut up the knuckle we had that we just tested out. So here's the other side. I haven't modified it yet, but basically all I did was take this part here, these two plates that are the same on the top and bottom, that go on the end of the knuckle. I just cut that off, so it just lowered it down maybe an inch and a half. But that gave me the tie rod clearance I needed past that sway bar end link. I haven't measured the angle I'm getting now, but I can already tell I'm getting way more than I was before. I'm gonna measure it real quick. When I get the wheel turned around the other way, I'll be able to get you guys a little look inside to see exactly what I'm talking about. It's definitely just temporary to see if that is gonna work in that location. All right, I just got the second side welded up here with just like some temporary bracing so that it's good enough to go drive on, see how it feels. Hopefully it feels good, and if it does, we will go ahead and kind of redesign this to have this mounting location, but a little bit better than just some random scrap steel I have laying around. All right, so we made it out to kind of a remote area to do some testing. I got Colm out here to be the camera boy. And we're gonna test out version 2 of the angle kit, see how she does getting slide weights. All right, we just got done testing out the second version, and it feels a lot better than the first. The difference in angle you can carry through a drift without spinning out is extremely noticeable. I can tell it's like a really big improvement over both the stock and the second one, because this is more than doubled the angle off of the first kit. I measured 25 degrees, but I actually think it's going to end up being more. I'm going to measure again. But I drifted with Colm in the car too. He's slid this car and been in the car with me drifting this car.
It's completely different.
Yeah. He immediately was like surprised on how much angle I was able to get out of it. So, all right, so I'm jumping into that redesign now that we've got the geometry of how this steering angle kit is going to work figured out. So I'll give you a quick look of the small changes I've made. All right, so here's what that back plate's looking like now. I extended this down further since we ended up lowering that whole thing that holds the Heim so that there'd be room to weld it on the bottom part still. Now that I kind of know what this is going to be, I put my logo in, and then I put these two holes in, which serve two purposes. One's just to cut the weight down just a little bit, and then I'll show you the other reason behind it. Before, the wheel speed sensor had to come out through the bottom here. It didn't have enough slack to get up to this clip here where it mounts to. It'll fit through that hole there, which will give it enough room to come up there to clip on. It comes all the way down right here, so this whole piece here will be welded in. That will sit down there. This whole slot here will mount against this plate, and there will be a weld on that whole piece, so it'll be much more sturdy. And then obviously we don't go over the whole knuckle piece, so we don't need a bolt to go all the way through there. So the bottom one just has the part for the Heim spacer, and the top part will still have the part to bolt onto the knuckle. And then I had to put a little radius right here to clear the Heim joint at full lock. So after I get the second version built out, I'll throw that on the car, make sure it still performs the same way. And I think this is pretty close to what the final form is going to look like. So I'll show you guys that once it's all welded out. All right, I'm back with another update. It's been a few days. I just cut out these guys on the plasma table. They're just little supports. I'm gonna go ahead and weld those in. And that should pretty much finalize this design, I think. Then we'll be able to put it on the vet. Just confirm everything's good, but I think this is pretty much what we're gonna be rolling with, so that's exciting. The reason this video has been kind of all over the place is because of how much stuff I've got going on right now. This week's been crazy. It's Saturday right now, and I've already done 47 hours of work for Tomlin Performance on top of my full-time job that I also put another 40 in. I've got stuff running on the table. I'm doing a run of seat brackets. That's what's going on here. Don't mind the freaking mess. Working on these Porsche headers. I've got more runners over here that I was welding up earlier. I'm about out of welding gas, so I'm taking a pause on the exhaust, and I'm gonna get back to these guys. So that's why this has been a mess. So bear with me. I'm gonna do my best. I'm trying to get better at it, but. All right, just got the driver's side cut out. I got the driver's side all welded up. I hit both sides just a little bit with spray paint to keep them from rusting. Production ones will be powder coated, but this is just a prototype kit that I'm gonna be running, so I don't really care. And I wanna get them tested out. And I'll show you what it looks like fully installed. I just got the Corvette alignment dialed in, but I just got the steering rack centered. So I'm gonna go ahead now and get the final measurements of the angle that I'm getting out of the final version of the kit. All right, a little bit of a step back. I was pretty certain we had nailed down the design. I thought I was happy with everything, but I decided I wanted to work on it a little bit more. I just did all the angle measuring, and I really think we need to maximize street ability, better for new drivers. I want more Ackerman angle. So we're gonna end up having to move the tie rod pickup point just a little bit further outside of the steering knuckle pivot axis. All right, y'all, we're back again with the angle kits. I have to keep stepping away from this. As much as I want to prioritize this, I've got so many other things going on, but we're really coming down to the wire here with some deadlines. So I'm gonna have to get this stuff knocked out, which is good. It's good that I'm gonna be forced to get through this. I just got in the last few goodies I was waiting on to finish what I'm really convinced is gonna be the final version of this kit. We got some bougie stuff going on here. All right, check this out. We're switching out the Heim joints. Couple reasons we're doing this, and it's basically parts availability. But they're actually bigger Heim joints, so they'll be stronger. Not that the other ones weren't sufficient. Those were overkill, and these are even more overkill. New chromoly Heim joints, and you'll notice we got little Heim joint spacers that allow more motion than what I was doing before, which if you recall, check this out here, just in there, was just like some little spacers that the Heim would just sit right on. These have shafts, check that out, they go right into the Heim. So these are going to be more durable. They'll definitely be stronger than the previous way, and they allow more range of motion for the Heim. Not that it was going to be a problem most likely, but with differing ride heights and suspensions for everyone's cars, especially if you're running different arms, who knows? So this is good. So that's the first upgrade. Also finally got tie rod adjuster sleeves. We should be good to go. I just cut out, let's see here. All right, I got the first couple pieces tacked together. This spacer over here is just a scrap one I had. It doesn't fit right. But this is just for mock-up. And then you'll see I've got a little nut in there that's welded in. Just continuing to assemble this prototype here. All right, just got this prototype all bolted up, fitted up. Everything looks pretty good. Now I've just got some really slight minor changes to make. Here where it's clearanced for the Heim joint, you'll see I had to grind that out. These Heim joints are just a little bit bigger. So that's gonna need to be clearanced up a little bit in my CAD drawing. And then obviously that top spacer, I already kind of showed you that. That needs to be changed up a little bit. But other than that, everything looks good. Fit up's great. Those tie rod sleeves are just a little bit too long, but that's okay because I can actually get slightly shorter ones. So I'm gonna get those on the way, get some new drawings to finalize all of this, and then I'm confident we'll be ready to go. All right, I got those shorter tie rod sleeves in, and they worked out great. And I got that same prototype mocked back up. Took measurements on it since I had these sleeves to take measurements. God dang, it's noisy in here. Took measurements and we're all good to go. Everything is exactly where it needed to be. I got the exact measurements I was expecting to get out of it. So I'm cutting out the right side right now. We'll get that all welded up and then we'll get to go drive on this kit for the first time. What up? We're back. Working a little bit more with these angle kits. We've got the vet pulled in here. This is kind of the first production level kit I'm welding out right now. I'll show you the minor changes I made and then the small tweaks I'm gonna make before I go ahead and produce a bunch of these to sell. So you'll notice we're looking pretty much the same here. Couple of changes. First off, this cap cover here, I actually went ahead and welded in on the back there. That way I don't have the weld all the way around that and across the front of it. It kind of just looked busy. And then the nut is the same thing. I'm welding the nut in on the top. On this last one, I'd welded it in on the bottom, tried to grind it down. That just leaves some room for air with it being like square and stuff, because that's what the Heim's gonna sit against. So I want that all perfectly level. So this way makes that a little bit easier. And then I think the only other small change I'm gonna make is down here. This is hard to weld out right now because you'll see it sticks out. The back plate there sticks out from the bottom a little bit, so I'll change that. But I mean, other than that, this is pretty much a production level piece. All right, as you guys saw, we got some angle kits in action. Again, it's been a little while since I've updated. I'm starting the second run of angle kits here. Got all my stuff ready. And there's a few small changes I made to version 2. There's several people out there driving on the version 1 angle kits now. Those sold out. So since I hadn't posted the video yet, I'm gonna give a small update on what version 2 looks like before this video goes up, which is tomorrow for me. All right, so here's a look at the newest version. This one's not totally welded out quite yet, but the big change visually is this back brace here. Before it just like came straight down as a 90, and it just did not match and flow with the rest of the design. So I did this, it makes it easier to weld, and I think it looks a lot better. So I don't have a powder coated one to show you, but this is pretty much what newest updated version I can show you is going to be. I don't know how long this video will be. Hopefully I can cut out most of this stuff, still make everything relevant and keep it at a reasonable length. But I started this video when it was cold last year, and I'm ending this video on the first day of the year that I put a hoodie on because it was like 60s today. So that's how long this video took, all summer basically, to get the angle kits from where they were to where they are now. So if you made it through the whole video, that's awesome. I appreciate it. If you have a Corvette, check out these kits. They're awesome. They shred. That's all I've got for you guys today. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.